Yo, 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 we live? Yeah, we live. What's the word, y'all? Always watching TV. Just decided to pull up with a little content I stumbled into. We got your boy Akademiks Wack100 talking about the Diddy trial, all the Cassie situations, pacing the situation on Diddy, all types of nastiness, man. We gonna get into it though. Make sure y'all like, share the video, and let's see what they talking about on Clubhouse.
Crazy.
Nah, so yeah, this a new word. I didn't even know what the fuck it meant. I'm kind of reading the stuff. I want to hear the bullshit that's going on. I get that Diddy's a freaky dude or he's gay, whatever you want to call it. But me, like at the end of the day, no matter how much people think I'm, Cardi hit me the other day, Cardi B, and she was like, "What do you think about this stuff or whatever?" Me and her talking, and then I said to her, I said, people be like, this made me realize as much as I think I'm in the industry, I'm not really in the industry because I don't know these people like that. Because I'm hearing certain stuff that in my wildest imagination I would never know. Like if you had told me this, like probably the same thing if I've told you guys what we would be hearing in this trial, you'd be like, nah, they're not doing that. No, ain't nobody doing that type of shit. I agree. So I'm in this trial. I want to hear all the bullshit. I want to hear all the dudes that was letting Cassie, oh not Cassie, but Diddy fuck their girl.
Nah, take your
I want
eyes
to hear
off
all
of
the
me,
dudes
homie.
that were getting turned out by Diddy, and it's not because I don't care about. Yeah, I don't care if I know he's gay, but this is the first time we get to see what's really happening in the industry. Because I used to be one of those people when regular people, and I hate to use regular people, they'd be like, "Oh no, this, that, and the third is happening." I'd be like, "Nah, it ain't." I'm like, "Nah, nigga, I got on and I ain't did none of that bullshit." So I think y'all just making this up because sometimes regular people will be like, "Oh, nah, niggas is selling their soul, they selling their booty hole, they doing this." And I used to be the one that's kind of defending it because I'm like, if I agree with that, they gonna say, "Well, nigga, you got on, you did that too." So I used to defend it. Now I'm like, "Oh hell nah, they was actually doing that shit." But I want to know who was doing it actually. You know what I mean? So me,
nigga, you know who was doing it.
I think some of this shit would have been taken to the grave if not for court. So I'm just trying to see all the real truth about these people because I think a lot of people been living double lives. I didn't know this type of stuff was going on. Maybe Wack knew it. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this. Even when Wack, when Wack told me eons ago about the Nipsey shit, I'm like, this nigga Wack is lying. You know what I mean? I'm like, niggas don't do shit like this. Now I'm getting to realize this is more popular than we think. So for me, I just like to see the truth about what's going on behind that's why I got into entertainment. I wanted to peek behind the curtain to see what the real truth was and how these people live and how they operate.
We got Diddy first cousin on his daddy side in the chat, y'all. Shout out to Diddy's first cousin. He in the chat.
And I feel like cases like this, we get to find out. So in this case with Diddy, I think they're purposely not bringing up certain things because they want to protect certain people. I don't want that to happen. I want to hear everything. If Meek was getting freaked off, like pause, like I want to. We now get to hear the truth because other than that, it's a bunch of propaganda. I've never seen the whole rap community this quiet. You know what I mean? We heard 500 interviews from
niggas don't want to get exposed.
People about how shit used to go down, and everybody who was accused of being down with the get down, they're all quiet, they're all on vacation. Nah, we trying to figure out the truth now, man. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with somebody if they in the closet, good for you. If you into some other shit, I ain't shitting on nobody way of life, but this deviant hiding behavior, I think it's time for some of the shit to get exposed. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, but here goes the thing. Why should it have to be exposed if that's their private, personal business?
Uh-oh.
Nah.
Let me find out Wack be partying.
I agree with that. Exposed. The only thing that should be exposed really is if motherfuckers is violating. Yeah, but here's the thing. There's a huge power dynamic, right? Like there's this idea that, shit, I ain't even gonna lie to you, like even in the midst of covering this trial, shit, I made a PSA to female rappers. I said, listen, There's a lot of y'all female rappers, right? Like, I think I even said it when, Cassie was desperate to get a career. I think she was in love with Diddy, right? I think most of the stuff was consensual, most of it. She also wanted to be an artist. I think Diddy knew how to spin her. Like, not only could he spin her because she loves him, he knew how to spin her because she wanted this idea of being an artist that was successful. So when she gets an opportunity, like for example, Drake was somehow interested in her. Now, in reality, I'm gonna be honest with you, and Drake's my man. I don't think Drake ever thought she was talented. Like, I don't think nobody looked at Cassie and thought she was talented. I think people thought she was cute. Damn. I think people thought, okay, and this happens to female artists all the time. They don't really believe in you. We're gonna just give you we're gonna act like we into you. Oh, we might want to sign you. Come over here. You get fucked. Now, you know what I mean? Shit get a little hazy. So again, I'm not trying to say our job should be judging people for their freakiness, but there's a lot of these things that happen in the industry where a lot of this shit is sometimes people just misusing power. You know what I mean? Or taking advantage of, okay, you want an opportunity? Well, if you want an opportunity, I might want to come sign you. You got to come kick it with me for wherever I'm at. Now it turns into, okay, yeah, we're going to get to music maybe on the 5th or 6th day, but if you're not cool on the first 4, I don't get no pussy, it's not going to happen. So we kind of seen that kind of manifest as well. These are things that happens in the industry. You know what I mean? And you get to see like somebody like Cassie was really desperate. She was really desperate to try to get to a certain spot. You know what I mean? I just don't think she was talented at all.
Damn.
Do you think she's still in love with him? In your personal opinion, just looking at everything and hearing what's being said and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I think it's tough to just say that without adding other shit onto it. I think whether you want to call it trauma or not, I think Diddy expose her to a lifestyle that you can't give her that type of dopamine exposure and then expect her to be happy with a trainer afterwards. You know what I mean? So I think she loved that lifestyle, and I think she loved Diddy for that. I think she resents him though because she didn't get what she wanted out of it, right? And there's some buyer's remorse. You know,
she got $30 million.
I mean, I still maintain, I don't think she ever sues Diddy if Diddy gave her a kid. She felt she wasted. She dated a nigga for 11 years. The thing she wanted the most was to have a family with him. She watched him leave. Like, yeah, she did all the free calls, but she did it for a reason. Now, granted, I'm not saying she wasn't with doing the free calls, but sometimes a woman would get with a man. She's like, all right, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z because I want to get A, B, and C. She wasted 11 years of her life. She met the nigga at 19, dated him at 21. By the time she was about 30 or so, she was done with him. She gave up a lot in her eyes, and then pretty much she has nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? And I think that became resentful on her part. I think if Diddy had shown that he wanted to, lock in with her permanently, whether it was having a kid or somehow marry her, I don't think we're here at all. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the testimony she's saying the last straw was realizing she wasted 11 years when Diddy admits that his real soulmate was Kim Porter in a pretty much he was given a post about Kim Porter, and it was just like, rest in peace to her. Like, she was really the only soulmate I really ever had, and Cassie felt whatever type of way. So when you think about shit like that, she alleged that he sexually assaulted her years before that. It's not like he only sexually assaulted her supposedly one time, like right there. No. So you get to realize like some of these claims kind of also align with buyer's remorse. The only thing with the Diddy thing is, even if you're trying to contextualize it like that, you can't defend him too much because there's too much violence, Maybe that was the 90s way of how niggas used to deal with maybe women, but I can't even say that because the type of violence I'm seeing here is no way this shit was normal. And to be honest, again, I'm a younger dude than Wack. So like, when I get my perception of Diddy, I never met him ever in my life. My perception of Diddy, I used to think Diddy, like, he was a player. I used to think he was a fly dude, especially over time. I thought a lot of things about him, but I never thought he was somebody who, like, when I'm reading these stories about Like Kid Cudi looked terrified about it, about him. You know what I mean? Kid Cudi was kind of capping. Kid Cudi said, "Yo, after I heard that he was pulling up on me, I wanted to fight him." He lied because like you don't go from saying I want to fight you to testifying against you. It don't work like that. So, it looked like Diddy had a side that really a lot of people didn't know about. Like if somebody had told me that Diddy heard some shit about Suge and said, "Yo, let's grab the guns and go pulled up on him," I would have said that sounds like a fucking.
That's cap. He didn't do
Diddy was
that.
a punk.
That's a lie.
Here go Wack. He gotta be the only gangster. Here you go.
He didn't do that.
You don't think he did that?
No, I know he didn't do that, man. Niggas do that shit. That's the oldest trick in the book. Guys, you got a bitch at the W Hotel, trying to find a way. You got a bitch at the W Hotel. You're trying to find a way to get to her. You answer the fake phone call. There ain't nobody on. You yell, you scream, grab your pistol, you storm out the house. That's it. Nowhere ever has that dude Puffy pulled up on anybody with no gun. That ain't.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't think like he was. Maybe when it comes to shit like that, he was aggressive himself.
No, he hollering, screaming at his employees and women. His employees and women and people he got control over, he'll do that shit with. He not doing that with just regular people.
You don't think that he would be able to probably tell? Like he probably had a few people around him that he might not be like that, but he might tell them like, "Yo, nigga, come on, you about to go ride." He gonna stay in the car.
That wasn't his type of circle.
Yo,
his circle wasn't like that.
Is crazy.
You never know Diddy to run with like them type of niggas. You had Wolf. Wolf was a serious dude, but that was business, that was security. Diddy didn't run around with just wide open type of niggas.
What about like D-Rock or whatever? I know it's security, but
again, it's a kid. Like, look, Suge ran around with niggas fresh out the penitentiary. Suge will pull up to the park in the hood. Look, what's up? What y'all doing? Y'all want to roll? And niggas are jumping cars, nigga, right off the block. That type of shit. That's wide open shit. Diddy shit was all Wright security, regular people. They had their guns and shit, they're men, but he wasn't running around with niggas and talking about we finna go pull up on Suge. Nah, he wasn't doing that.
Yeah, I guess that's also interesting too, because like when you hear all these stories, and you got to realize, man, I'm reading every
paperwork.
week,
that's what he did.
Even at this point, we get the transcripts about like 3 or 4 days later. The way how they paint Diddy is like everybody was scared of Diddy.
Now him throwing a printer and doing all that shit internally, oh yeah, he do all that. I didn't watch him holler and scream at his people and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, the only thing that I just don't hear him, other than the Kid Cudi shit, I don't hear him doing a lot of things that dudes, unless it was maybe dudes that work, And I don't know, it's kind of hard to kind of like, I felt like I never did it because I was based on how, when I heard West Coast, I thought Diddy was a punk. I'm going to be honest with you.
You thought he was a what?
I thought he was a punk in the sense of when it came to handling business or dealing with violence, he wasn't trying to do that.
He is. He really is though, because he's gonna pick and choose who he does that with.
But that might not be a punk. He might be smart then.
I mean, call it what you want. If it's his employees or motherfuckers, he feel like he could take advantage of, and he gonna holler, scream, and all that shit. But he ain't. For instance, one time we was in the studio, games for engineer Brian.
Hit that like button.
Diddy's in the booth. And Diddy he looked like he might would have been a little loaded. So Brian's real, he one of the top engineers in the game. He did it for everybody. So Diddy started to feel like Brian was fucking up. And Brian punched him in and was like, hey, that's on you. The delay's on you, not me. And then Diddy was like, man, you know who the fuck I am, Playboy? And Brian, he's a white dude, older white dude. He punched in, we can hear him say, I don't know, I don't give a fuck who you. Giving immediately warning. Diddy will fuck you up behind our engineer. You know that, bro. So make the right decision. He let that shit go. Didn't take no yelling, hollering, and screaming. None of that. Like he know who to do that shit with. If he felt like he got some control over you and you need him and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll play with you.
Yeah.
Now,
A lot of the more I cover the case, and that's why I spend about like 6-7 hours every day while the court things happen. I try to see every perspective because it's super interesting. On you could take away a couple things. This is one of the takeaways I've been taking away. Right, man, ain't nobody that has been with him who didn't get fired has anything bad to say. It's always the people who get cut off the situation. You know what I mean? I was waiting to see. There's a white lady. They keep calling it the Ghislaine Maxwell of the whole situation. They say he was helping, or she was helping him to cover up all the stuff. Her name is KK, Christina Karam. It today was announced. Pretty much, Diddy's defense team is talking to her lawyer, which means that she's not going against Diddy like that. D-Rock was supposedly, I don't know if D-Rock is turned at this point, but D-Rock was reaching out to people while the investigation was going on. Even the person today, which, I guess through some of the coverage we did, and, obviously the internet people doing they digging, the person who goes as Mia is really like a Jane Doe type of situation because she didn't want to use her real name. Her real name is Sarah Schnecker. And basically she claimed Diddy raped her. Raped her on his birthday.
Yo.
Every year after the rape, she had the biggest
Akademiks.
post about how she was excited about his birthday. So Brian Steele, who represented Young Thug, was like,
that's crazy.
Was like, so he raped you on his birthday, but every year you had the biggest post about how much you loved him on his birthday. You made videos talking about happy birthday. You changed my life. I love you so much. It's hard to kind of see some of these situations, and now I understand violence, and especially domestic violence, and sometimes it takes a while for people to leave or report it. But some of these people seem really motherfucking happy while the going was good. It's only till after. I mean, shit.
Yeah, you know what? How do you see? That's the dangerous part. Okay, he thinks he's having his fun. He having sex with you in random places. Boom, boom, boom. You screaming how much this, how much is cool. And then now he's in a situation and you switch it all up. Anybody can switch it up on you, bro.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a lot of that, though. Like, the majority of the cases the majority of the cases, you're seeing people who, at the time, whatever they claim happened, they'll have an incident date. Be like, yo, on this date, he broke my jaw. This date, pause, he raped me. And then they'd be like, yo, like, they even point out, they said, so 2 days after he raped you, you tell him how much you appreciate him. And it says, yo, every other Instagram post you put up on your Instagram for the next 3 years had him in there. You're posing with him with his shirt off afterwards. Like, this shit not traumatizing you? Again, it's a lot of there's a way to look at this that it looks like buyer's remorse. The only thing that fucks it up for Diddy is that the dude was a violent dude. He used to put his hands on people. So when you think about that, the only you could possibly think, oh well, maybe he was beating their ass and they didn't know how to leave. But a lot of these people,
maybe the nigga was whooping their ass.
From my opinion, they all had the opportunity to leave. All
now, Act. This is from Tink. This is AB. Just speaking on that, she's asking, you've talked about gatekeeping and silencing in the industry before. Do you think Diddy's situation is exposing how much power these so-called Black excellent figures really have behind the scenes?
A bit. I mean, the more you kind of get around, like I've been around, whether it's rappers or people who are maybe like in positions of power, maybe like executives or whatever. And yeah, like Yo, people not gonna really fuck up the bag. You know what I mean? People are gonna cover up shit. If somebody's a drug addict, the team is gonna try to make sure they cover it. Like these things happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's more normal than not. The only thing, again, I don't think that means that's like a racket though. Like, you know, especially when it comes to this Diddy stuff, they're charging racketeering. Like this is an organization. This shit. No, I'm pretty sure all the security guards, I'm pretty sure they weren't down with Diddy slapping her or whatever. They probably just say, we gonna mind our business. We want to keep our job. So, but there's a lot of covering up going on in the industry. There's a lot of times you have somebody who's an addict who the team got to cover up for, make sure that whenever they go out, they look good. They don't fall over. They don't, you know what I mean? But they know they got to have it. So now this happens a lot. You know, I think to this extent, though, I don't think I've seen this before. I mean, we're talking about a dude who paid $5 million for an NDA to a sex worker that videos of him and Cassie didn't come out. That's what supposedly Jonathan Odie got. This is a guy who pays $50,000 or $100,000 to the intercontinental worker to delete that. Like, this is a guy who he has infinite means. Like, if you come at me and you say, yo, you got a video, I got a video of you tripping your girl and then you kicked her. Give me $5 million. I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna put it out myself. I ain't got that much money to be for what Diddy was doing. It really requires a lot of money. Like, you know what I mean? Even the woman on the stand today, Sarah Schnecker, the one that she's going by the pseudonym Mia, she wanted $10 million. Diddy gave her $400,000. She busted down with her lawyer. Cassie got $20 million. You get to realize there's a lot of these people who, like, if we really go over all the money that Diddy paid out over 15, 20 years, Diddy probably paid out close to $50 million or more trying to cover things up, whether it was hospital visits. He was flying in, the dude is flying in, he would just bust open Cassie's eye and fly in a goddamn plastic surgeon, like overnight. Yo, bring the plastic surgeon in. We got to do fucking, we got to fix this shit like in the hotel. Like they were doing extreme shit. So Diddy, I've never been around that much money and power that you could spend that much covering up the bullshit. But every rapper I've ever been around, there's usually some type of, because again, it's a lot of times you're seeing these young black dudes, they got money and then they kind of get a team that whatever bad, like they can't really talk back to the person who, is in control. They can't really say shit. So there's usually covering up of whatever going on. You know what I mean? Whether the drug habit, crimes, cheating, all of that. But the shit we're seeing with Diddy, I've never seen this shit before. Like this, this takes a different level.
Now, when you say it was a different level of what's going on, I know we've been talking about the Diddy, but we do have some questions coming out the chat. So I was going to pivot real quick because Two-Face actually wants to know, like, what's this deal with, what's really behind the feud with Ab-Soul? Is this just rap beef or something personal?
I don't know. Like, well, first of all, I think if anybody's watched me for, whether, I've been doing my thing for 15 years, I've always hated, and I get it, at this point, my name is a polarizing figure where if you mention me, you could get some type of either traction or people will be like, okay, or sometimes, it's polarizing in the sense of, it's like the villain. Like, if I say, yo, fuck this guy, like people like, oh yeah, we don't like him. You know what I'm saying? So I take the good and the bad with it. I don't really get too sensitive with that. What I do always call out is when I feel like a rapper don't have no traction and they resort to using this one trick of, let me just bring up Akademiks' name to get some type of attention. I think Ab-Soul, I think he did a weak trick. You know what I mean? I think the narrative, and I don't know what you guys think, but I think the narrative has been that Joey Badass is applying belt to ass. You know what I mean? And I think this was a desperate move. And, here's the thing too. If I don't respond and because it's one thing, and I seen him, he came back around today and I think he was just like, nah, I was just trolling. Well, here's the thing. If I don't respond strongly to it, it's like, again, I'm not no hood nigga, but like, I think I understand the theory of if I live in a neighborhood and I let one nigga rob me and I don't say nothing, another nigga gonna be like, I'm gonna do the same thing. So when rappers start, with this idea of threatening, because they don't talk like this about everybody else. I ain't listen, and we can take it off Absol, but just mention any other rapper. I ain't never seen a rapper say, when I see Wack, I'm gonna slap him. They talk about Wack, or they talk about other people with a different level of decorum. You know what I mean? So again, if you let them talk about you like a dog, and you let them talk about you like, when I see this nigga, I'm putting hands and feet on him, it kind of breeds this idea that this nigga is just like, this is a pinata. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, I'm just not going to be, whether it's for clout or whether it's just for attention, I'm just not going to be the guy who you're just going to make this idea be known. Yo, this is the guy we just beat the shit out of, or this is the guy we could enact violence on. And also, here's the thing too, over time too, like I've just become less believable of rappers. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing this for like 15 years. I have a lot of people who said they were going to beat me up, slap me, spit on me, whatever. I think I'm pretty good so far. And also, just over time, I told people, I said, when I first came in this game, I thought the rappers were the toughest dudes in every neighborhood, the biggest killers. It wasn't until I started seeing more and more things, I'm like, a lot of these rappers, they're just good at rhyming words. They do have some killers around them, but they're not the tough guys themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, and again, not trying to besmirch his like legacy, but one of the times that I saw and I was just like, wait, but I thought these rappers was like that. Was remember when Nipsey was getting into it with somebody, and it was the weatherman, and he was saying, yo, this guy is blah, he's a buster, or whatever. And the dude said, yo, we could fight. Let's fight one-on-one. And Nipsey wanted to talk about everything but that. And I was like, wait, huh? I thought rappers were the toughest. I really used to think rappers were the toughest niggas on earth. And I think that idea of that eroded, and I realized that rappers are nothing without their crews. So I adopted the philosophy of, okay, if I could isolate it, and here's the thing, the good thing about me, there's no expectation of me, so that's good. If I could isolate it, I want you to show me you're tough. So that's why I don't let nobody get away with, if you say you're gonna slap me, now I gotta now put it in the ball in your court, where you're either gonna have to prove it, or you're gonna get revealed as the fraud you are. Which rappers, I think a rapper, when you sign up to be a rapper, you usually sign up to be a liar. And if you're not signing up to be a liar, you're usually signing up to
smash that like button.
You're basically signing up to telling yourself because you're going to the penitentiary or otherwise. There's nobody telling the truth that don't end up getting indicted or somehow hurt.
Now, you started off saying that you were on the phone with Cardi B. Now, did that conversation have anything to do with, or did you guys talk about, did she voice how she felt? And what do you think about the report of her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband asking for spousal support?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. Actually, just like a voice note back and forth. I forgot what we were talking about right before, but yeah, no. I mean, truth be told, though, man, I hate that situation with Offset and Cardi B. I've been in situations where in the same night or the same like span of 6 hours, I'm on the phone 2 hours with Cardi and I'm on the phone 2 hours with Offset. It's not like playing telephone, but because I'm a media outlet, both people are stars and they have their own respect, and I have respect for both of them. I've told Cardi personally, I said, I bet I actually I hope I don't lose, but I might at this point because they're talking crazy. I got a bet with Cardi for like 5 bands. Is it 5 or 10 bands? I said, you and Offset gonna get back together. Y'all got kids together. You get upset at him. I understand the POV.
The fact that she took that bet lets you know she about to win, nigga.
And again, as much as I'm one of those messy people, right? Like a lot of people know I be up in people's business. Sometimes I always say, like, I said it with Papoose and Remy, I think certain things you should isolate and not allow, don't make it your personal life for fodder for the internet, because it's never gonna make it better.
Right.
They both got their sides. Like Cardi told me, it's like, yo, listen, man, this dude is just super disrespectful. That's why I couldn't rock with it. Because my thing was, and I said it to her, I said, Cardi, because I remember the first time when I had found out that she was with, this other guy. We don't know who it is at this point.
Yeah.
She had called me and she said, "How do you know?" And I said, "Listen, how do I know? I think I'm pretty good at my job." I said, "Am I right?" And she said, "You're right." So I said to her after a while, I said, I really don't want to get into this ain't family court or therapy or couples therapy. So I'm only involved based on what you guys give online, right? Now, if y'all file a divorce, you might talk about it, but at the end of the day, I hope it works out good for you. I really like both of them. But I said to her, I said, the jokes is gonna fly because shit. My favorite joke is, why would you leave one cheater to go get with another nigga who's a bigger cheater? You know what I mean? Shit don't make no sense. And she had her POV about that. He has his POV about certain things as well. I think that should be between them. Now when it comes to this whole spousal support thing, again, I'm trying not to choose sides, but I don't like the narrative where people are going with like Offset's broke. I don't believe that at all. I think that Offset, and by the way, I spoke to him about this. He basically had said, "Yo, listen, I don't want money from her. This is a tactical move that lawyers got to do, that we don't got to keep arguing about all these other little things. If she lets me get A, B, C, D, and E, we'll take the money off the table." So it's a negotiation, obviously plays in the media like, oh shit, this nigga broke. And I think with Cardi, she's, at the end of the day, she has several kids with this dude, 3 kids.
Yeah.
She's going to react emotionally. But if you ask me, I still got money on in a few years. They're going to be at a better place. And I'm not even going to rule out the fact that they might fuck around with each other again. Maybe not in the capacity of being husband and wife, but they're completely always going to be in each other's lives. And I try to tell them, just like, even though, I'm entertained by all the fuckery, but like certain stuff, like I wish Papoose and Remy ain't really air out all the stuff. I wish that all of these people, especially when it's husband and wife, you know what I mean? Now, if it's some boyfriend and girlfriend shit and y'all just trying to like go up on each other, cool. But this is husband and wife, there's kids involved. I wish they would just keep us out of group chat. But I do think that at some point they're going to get back together. But, I think they're both playing the game of playing PR, which is, and I said this to Offset too. I said, Offset, bro, to be honest, as a male, it's tough to win in this type of scenario. I think the only person, and I think it's about to go bad on him, the only person when it comes to a child being involved, a relationship, and that relationship ended, and people say, "Nah, this dude, we're on his side." The only person I've seen in recent time where people are like supporting the masses. I'm not just talking about dudes, because usually dudes, like, we kind of understand the side of the men, and a lot of times the women understand the side of the women. I think DDG was being supported, and I think that's why it's always a battle of PR when it's 2 famous people. I think that's why Shorty let people know, hey, I keep supporting this nigga, he beat my ass. And then I think
free
they
Diddy.
keep people still are seeing it objectively. We're like, nah, we don't know if that's it.
I'm not pushing any narratives, Philo. I hope you're not saying that about me. Free Diddy.
Exactly what it is, because we've seen you do A, B, and C, and D, and I'm worried for him too, because I think they're about to go drop the I think they're going to drop the Ring camera for this pretty soon. But it just goes back into the overall thing about when it comes to situations like that, it's a PR battle. This idea that a lot of people have, and that's why I feel bad for Offset. They're like, yo, oh, he broke. I mean, when you date Cardi B, okay, let's say Cardi B got 300 million. Let's say you got 100 million. Are you broke? No, you're not. It's Cardi B. She makes a lot of money. But, any way that they can shit on Offset, they're going to do it. And even now,
I don't think Offset got 100 million. Little TJ said Offset got 10 bands for him. Nigga, how the fuck he got 100 million?
The thing is, men and women, we date differently. Like, a woman not going to leave Offset and go date somebody who's a construction worker. She going to date an NFL star. So now everybody looking at Offset like, yo, damn, nigga, you down bad now. Oh, man, like, she upgrade on you. You punch in the air. This Offset been living. Like, I see all the other stuff. Offset been with if you want to call him like, a cheat or whatever, like it used to be called, different women back in the day. Man, I've seen Offset with more women now than I've ever seen him before. But
because he hurt, he just knocking down everything because his wife gets knocked down now, nigga.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You say you talk to Offset, right?
Yeah.
Here go Wack.
Did he tell you the truth? This ain't for you to say it, but I want to see if he's really talking to you.
The truth about what?
What his real problem was from the beginning. He mustn't tell you.
No, hold on. So I don't know necessarily what you may be alluding to.
Oh no, it's what it is. You would know it because I've been knowing for years. Because I be, in the middle of it a lot of times too. I was just wondering if he just straight up told you the truth.
Everything me and him talked about, I understood it from a male point of view. Like when a man deal with a woman and you ain't been perfect, sometimes she do something or she get into something that sometimes it's a forgiving and y'all fight, whatever. Only thing I know is that he felt there's a line that was crossed, and every man has that line where it's like, I can't look at you the same.
Oh, that's right now. Yeah, right now, definitely. That's why I disagree as far as they'll be back together because it's like he can't respect it.
Yeah, no. When I say be back together, not married like that, but they're gonna go through stints of maybe popping out together and they fucking. They got kids. That's what I'm saying. Being back together,
they're gonna go through. It gets to a point, when you that close to somebody and they violate, you don't even look at them like that no more. It's like it's been tainted. You don't even want to touch it.
That could be true too. That could be true. Wait, hold on. So what is it? You tell me. I don't know.
Nigga, he said she got slapped out while she was pregnant with his kid, nigga. What you mean? What is it?
What is it?
No, I'll talk to you online about that. I just wanted to see you would know it if he told you that. You would have just said, yeah, I know. But
he said it on Twitter.
I get it, I understand it. Probably a little unfair to her. I understand what his move was, but I think the balance was off with that day one. With Cardi's career climbing the way it was, Offset kind of being a part of a group. This is why he was so adamant about going solo at one time. It wasn't never going to add up. You know what I'm saying? And then when you got a woman who's dealing with things that the man is doing, she gonna flex on you sometime because she knows she can. Because she's in a financial situation to where you can't stop nothing anyway. It was already a tug of war. But no comfort.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, maybe there's a thing there. From what I got, it was.
Yeah, I see. I got Wack as the judge, Ack as the prosecutor, and look at Diddy crying. He hoping he could come home. Free Diddy though, man.
No, and I just know from, like these are celebrities where I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really think these people get into these situations where they really expect monogamy. I think it's about respect. So I think, even speaking of Cardi, I think she saw his actions start getting more and more disrespectful. It's one thing you're doing X, Y, and Z because you a nigga and you lit, but if in her mind she think you doing it, oh, you smashing chicks that used to be in the club with her, you doing things that bitches she don't like, you're getting with, you're doing things in her home. She feels at some point the disrespect is too much. So then she returns the disrespect. So I'm pretty sure she's probably entertained the guy before, and we probably never knew about it, and Offset never said nothing about it too, because he probably knew what he done did. But then she crossed the line too, and I just don't believe that the line initially was her supposedly having sex with or even entertain a dude while pregnant. I think it probably happened before. I don't know what that line necessarily was, but lines were crossed a long time ago. You know what I mean? I think that's clear.
Hold on. Speaking of line crossing, are you up to date on this Reggie Suge situation? Because that's tea, and I need your input on that because I don't know if you talked about it yet. I try to tune into you when I can, but
we talking about
Reggie Wright and Suge Knight. Child, Reggie is out here sliding on that mega style, just sliding, just kicking them all in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really shit. That's like a question for Wack.
You ain't heard about all of it?
No, I've seen some stuff. I thought Reggie Wright was kind of somewhat aligned with Suge, but I could tell. Like, for example, I'm watching News Nation. I watched Piers Morgan that Suge was on today as well, and he's throwing. I finally realized that Suge will distort the truth if he wants to get at a nigga, and I don't know whatever he's saying about Reggie if it's true, but he'll just throw some shit in there to kind of like get back for him. So I don't know if necessarily he's saying the truth about
that nigga lying. He'll lie quick. Not only will he lie,
I was wondering why he's so quiet.
He'll lose focus on his lie. Like, but he said Reggie Wright was with Gene Deal when Biggie got killed. You can tell, but see, he was mad because Reggie released the tapes of what he said about his attorney and his fiance, and his attorney resigned from him. Said, I don't want to work with you no more. So he's mad.
Yeah, the interesting thing with Suge is like, of course, I think his voice is more important than it's been in a while because of the Diddy case. And we want to hear some input about some of these people. Like, again, Capricorn Clark had association with him, right? So he's also mentioned where, Diddy was, again, whether true or not, was trying to pull up on him. So cool. We want to hear certain shit from him, but I think, he has some other things that the rest of the world might not know what's going on with it. But I was a little bit shocked when I seen he was making Reggie Wright under the bus. Under the bus. So I don't know. Like, I heard what Reggie said, but I don't know where this is stemming from, and I don't know if anything either or is saying is the truth. I can't tell.
Hey, absolute salute. This exposed the Prince. I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
You covered some of the biggest and most complex legal cases in hip hop, from the YSL Rico trial, obviously Tory Lanez, free Tory, Casanova TK. Your breakdowns often go viral, and for many fans, you're the first or only source they go to for information. Given how much weight your commentary
this nigga reading off of AI or something
holds, how do you find your role in all this? Are you a legal analyst? Are you a journalist, entertainer, or just a commentator? Talk to me, Ak. Salute.
By the way, brilliant question, my brother. I kind of want to put everything. I want to take all those roles, actually. Like, I want to be a commentator in the sense of I pride myself on being able to try to break down complex legal matters because, again, I find a niche in that, but also, like, unfortunately, covering hip hop, there's so much legal shit because our rappers and favorite rappers keep getting in legal shit. So I want to be a commentator in the sense of being able to break down some stuff that is not easily understood to the regular person. I want to be able to give my opinion and be fair. I want to also be someone who could have somewhat credibility in analyzing legal shit where I'm like, if I give a prediction or whatever, it's actually based in something that, I love bringing on, or I even consult, like whether it's the Bradford Cohens of the world, or, I've been really happy to add Drew Finland to, like, even somebody who likes what I do, and he's like, reach out to me at any time. So I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the aspirations I have is I I want to try to get a law degree. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, this is kind of what I do for a living at this point, right? Like,
Okay.
I'm putting significant time. You know,
Yeah,
I put in, you know, outside of the time of me streaming.
I ain't hiring that nigga as my lawyer though.
I had to learn the legal system. I had to learn, okay, how does federal court work? How does the appellate process work? How does these motions work? How does these interlocutory appeals work? How does the appellate process goes post conviction? I had to figure out kind of all these things, because here's the thing, you know, your value to your audience is to kind of translate and break it down in words and make it entertaining. Like, I'm always going to be an entertainer, right? So no matter, even if I'm covering something, the difference between if you watching me and whether it's like court TV or Law and Crimes is that you're gonna get the jokes. Like, I'm gonna have the jokes when I'm doing the Diddy stuff, but everybody watching me is gonna feel that I'm competent enough to be able to accurately know what's going on and at least be able to break down. Hey, and again, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not gonna say I'm the best at interpreting law, but I'm capable enough. You know what I mean? So I take pride in that, and also I put in a lot of effort. I mean, shit. Every day I'm usually searching. When it comes to legal stuff that I do personally every day, I'm on Pacer every day. I'm looking through most superior courts throughout the United States every day. I'm on usually a few things, looking up, you know, arrests or, you know, inmate records. I'm pulling transcripts, putting in open. I'm doing public records requests. So again, after a while, I realized, I said, listen, I know this is not exactly, and also I'm interested in it too. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I always said, if you're not learning, you're dying. So I've taken it as a challenge to kind of understand most of that stuff, whether it's like being able to. And by the way, I think some of you guys on here probably do a great job too, because you know what I learned back in the day? I learned this back in 2014. I realized that the majority, remember, I had a independent media platform going on, and I wanted to be bigger, better, more informative than all of the like bigger outlets at that time. XXL, they were paying their journalists. I don't know what they paid their journalists, maybe like 30 an hour, right? They're working 8-hour jobs. This is what I do every day. If you know, this is what most of us do every day when you have that passion for it. Shit, if Wack calls me at 4 a.m. or shit, if I call Wack at 4 a.m., we're all involved, as opposed to somebody who works for XXL. They work 9 to 5s, whatever. So I remember when Bobby Shmurda and GS9, they got indicted. I remember everybody ran the same headline. I did the due diligence of going to get the indictment, read through every page. It was about 77 pages. I found out way more information that was more not only relevant, but more interesting than what everybody was running. Oh, wow. They said Rowdy Rebel was having a shootout before 20 minutes before he went to the Barclays to perform, right? These are things that, you know, I got to realize, not only understand the process, but put in the extra work was super important. And that's kind of got me into, hey, listen, if you're going to cover this stuff, you're going to have to be able to pull these court documents, read it, extract certain stuff. And again, I think that's just kind of where we're at with it. Like, you know, I think one of the first and few times when, you know, because people are lazy. Let me tell you this. If you're an independent business owner, you want to be a creator, it don't even take that much work. The regular person wants to do the minimal effort, but try to get the maximum result. Like, again, and that's what this differentiates, like the top from the bottom. Pause. Like, shit, when it came to even the Big U stuff, I could tell Wack read the whole thing. Wack knew the indictment more than me. And usually, and I said, well, if you watch that No Jumper episode, I said, usually nobody knows this more than me. But I could tell Wack went.
Hey, Wack got a cold research team over here.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I think you guys are able to add to him because you guys do these things. This is why there's sometimes when, whether paperwork or whatever comes out, it's coming out of Clubhouse. You know what I mean? Wack is right with, you know, a lot of new things. There's no more, it's not incentivized if you're a journalist or a writer that works for a company for you to do investigative shit. You're gonna wait on TMZ to put out an article and you rephrase it. It's basically Chat GPT. They're not doing anything different. They're not going to say, hey, let's go get the story. Oh, okay, we heard this person say that. We're going to go pull the files. And I think that's where, you guys have been like pretty impactful. But shit, I've for me, I've tried to make that a way of how I try to stay above and try to stay at the top of, what I do in any way I try to do it. So for me, that's just always been a norm.
Hey, yo,
I
what's
won't take
up,
too much of
Ag?
your time, so thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, what's going on, Ag? Hey, I just had a quick question. I know we kind of pivoted away from the Diddy shit, but I know you probably seen the headlines with Trump considering pardoning Diddy. In a world where that's a possibility after he said it, if he does do it, what do you think the aftermath would be?
A nigga, that means Puffy go home.
I'm just talking about, I'm talking about with the
aftermath is he go home.
Yes, so
Trump?
No, I think he's meaning aftermath as like what effect will it have on everyone else? Like the aftermath.
Oh,
like,
no, I don't think nobody gives. I'm gonna be real. We're watching Diddy. If they release Diddy today, nobody would give a fuck.
No, I think they would. I
don't think nobody would give a fuck. I'm gonna be real.
I think hearing that today, I think especially over this weekend, if I'm Diddy's team, we're gonna have a meeting with Diddy, and also we're gonna, I think they already probably had this meeting, right? Not necessarily for a pardon consideration. I think they're gonna realize, because let's bring in another pardon he just recently did, right?
Yeah, y'all hit that like button, man.
Donald Trump pardoned Larry Hoover, right? Or not actually pardoned, he commuted his sentence, right? That's very different than a pardon. Obviously,
no, he pardoned Larry Hoover.
No, he commuted the sentence. So
he pardoned Larry Hoover. He erased 6 life sentences. He's done with the feds.
Hold on. So here's the thing. I'm just trying to highlight politics. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody could fact check on your team. I think it looks like a pardon, but it's commuted his sentence. So that conviction is still there. It's just that the sentence is done. So the sentence is, he did the same thing with I think with Wayne. With Wayne, I believe either Wayne or Kodak, one of them wasn't a full pardon. It was a commuting of the sentence. Now, the reason why, a lot of this stuff is like politics as usual, You don't want to be the guy to take that completely off of his record. And also, I don't think Trump would do it if there wasn't state charges. I don't think Trump want to be on the hook for that man walking out of federal prison and then have to be liable for whatever, not saying he would do anything, but again, most of the stuff, even with, pardons are really just political plays. So let's go to the Diddy thing. If I'm Diddy's team, I don't think that Trump is going to pardon somebody that is guilty or gets found guilty of sex trafficking. Okay? Now, if he gets found guilty of lesser crimes or maybe the RICO, but not sex trafficking, there's some of the smaller charges, whether the prostitution charge, I could see a pardon coming. I think that would be a strategy to say, well, we got to beat this one charge. Like, it's rare. I can't remember a last president who pardoned someone who was really guilty of like, almost like damn near almost capital offenses or like first degree crimes that involved violence. They usually strategically pick. So what I'm saying is that if Trump, I think if Diddy blows trial completely and is found guilty on everything, I don't think he'll be eligible for Trump to consider. Now, Trump could pardon anyone, but you don't.
Which one of Diddy's charges is involving violence? Cassie's got one of his charges.
Yeah, but you have to imagine it's sex trafficking. Like, you pardon a sex trafficker, like, that looks crazy.
Yeah, but the details of his sex trafficking, he's not in form of a pimp or somebody that got a ring of young children or teenagers. And they're saying what he's doing with his own personal life with grown people is sex trafficking.
And here's the thing though, like historically when we look at parties, again, I'm just going off politics. It's like even a Tory thing. I love Tory, rock with Tory, but it's going to be a tough and uphill battle to get pardoned by the governor, because the governor gets elected with an agenda saying he's going to protect women. So if, again, it's not even about him believing Tory or believing he's innocent. It's him pardoning the charge of violence against a woman when you campaign to protect women. You get what I'm saying? It becomes a political nightmare. So why would you do it? So all of these pardons are things that make sense. Now, if Diddy did get a pardon, I do think it wouldn't be I'm pardoning you with 2 years left on, my presidency run. It would be, I'm walking out the door pardon. I don't know.
That's what I said. I told him, when that nigga walking out the door, he'll let him go.
I don't know if Diddy, though, holds enough power, cachet, or will have enough importance. I think Diddy is completely finished no matter how this goes. I don't think that he'll ever have the amount of power and influence, whether over the black community, whether in business. He'll have his money now.
Let me know in the comments.
He'll have his money, he'll have his family, he'll have some people who rock with him, but I don't know if he'll ever be a factor enough that people would say it's a power play to get him right. You know what I mean? Just, okay, let's give him the pardon. So I think Trump will think about it, but if he blows trial completely, I would be pretty shocked. But if it's a split decision, I could see a pardon coming. Split decision, yes.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it until he walking out the door.
Yeah.
Personally. At that point, he ain't got to deal with nothing. He can't. He did 2 terms. He won't run again.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. One thing, let me tell you this. One thing I do, first of all, I like Trump already. So if I put my cards on the table. That's my guy. But I will say, the way he used pardons, you could tell he's using pardons to secure later business associations. It's strategic, and he uses it in a way where he's like, I don't give a fuck, right? He's doing it to curry favor with certain communities, certain people, and he's been doing these pardons. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think this last row of pardons, I think he did a little bit to try to give every community something, but I think it was pretty much for that one couple that he was trying to pardon. That I felt like, I probably got to look into some, maybe campaign donations or whatever, but I think he felt he had to do something. And he couldn't just pardon them by themselves, so he pardoned a list. I think there's going to be a next pardoning cycle. If you ask me, I think in the next 9 months. And I think he's going to pardon the crypto dude, SBF. His whole campaign has been aligned with crypto. One of the guys, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's been, it's a whole thing to kind of get in that realm of wanting to be pardoned. And I see that guy doing it. By the way, I see Tory's trying to set that up for Newsom. It's just that, let me tell you this, if Tory had a federal case, I think Tory would have walked home. He would have been out. But his case is state, and that's the worst part about it. If Tory had a federal case, I think Trump, in consideration with, these issues that are kind of, okay, there's support, but it's not a blanket, this person belongs in jail. I think Tory would have been freed by Trump. But unfortunately, his case is state. And I think that's the biggest problem.
Yo, Wack, what you think about this Drake album coming up? You got any insight?
She says, imagine loving someone who can't stand your kind. Different level of self-hate.
Other info or insight about that mug? And what's your first week expectations?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think one of the reasons why Drake is still at the top, not only is he's an incredible artist, but anytime he's ever gotten in the mode of comfortability, he goes through some type of turmoil or people start doubting him and he got to prove himself. Rappers really are only at their best during that first run and when their back's against the wall. Think about any rapper you want. Whether we're talking about wax artists, The Game, whether, Game was the best parts of his career for me was when That first run when he's dropping those classics coming out the gate, and then when his back was against the wall, going against, obviously G-Unit, right? Shit, I ain't even gonna lie, even somebody who I have a colorful history with. I think, Meek after the battle, now granted he lost the public favor, but Meek was rapping some of the best shit when he was doing all them freestyles, doing them little 4-for-4 packs right after the whole thing with Drake. And to be honest, if you think about it, it's one of the reasons why he was able to have that last run after that, which Drake did come back around, which was championships. I like when a rapper got his back to the wall. You know what I mean? Like I think straight success or straight, a run without being challenged or being knocked off your pedestal, I don't think you come with some of your best shit. So I think that, for example, I thought I think Scorpion's a really phenomenal album. I don't think we get it if Pusha T didn't do what he did. So you gotta sometimes chin check a rapper for them to go back and dig in that bag to be like, yo, my legacy's on the line, my reputation's on the line, and I gotta come out swinging. Because at a certain point, you gotta think about it. Drake done made $1 billion off music. You know how easy it is to just mail in an album at this point?
Agree,
whatever you put out is gonna sell. Like he could be the guy that says, yo, y'all just write the shit, I just come sing it. But now when it's a test of ego, when it's a test of, oh, nah, your career could be the inflection point where you're finished, you're gonna get the best of him. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think we're gonna get the best album, the best solo album since Scorpion. And Scorpion had a bunch of hits, but he also had a POV. Scorpion, we saw some of the most personal songs from him about, whether it's Emotionless, whether it was Elevate, whether it was these songs about, him feeling that he was, somehow betrayed. So I think we're gonna, and I've talked to him, and he's told me, he's like, yo, this is super personal. You know what I mean? Like for him, he's never in his POV, he ain't never went through something like this, and I think he learned a lot about the game. Now, if you ask me personally, I'm like, Drake, how did you not know these niggas is fake? Like, bro, you got a song called No Friends in the Industry. You got a song called Fake Friends, but I think he never foresaw a time when he would look up and feel like the industry banded against him or was trying to see him not come out as victorious, or was just saying, bro, we're tired of you winning. Like, nigga, it's time for you to catch an L and get humble. So he's taking it super personal. He told me from way back, he said, after he dropped the Some Sexy Songs for You with Party Next Door. He says, that album, he said that was the first of 2 really important chapters in his life. And the second chapter is going to be a solo album. He's locked in. You know what I mean? I've heard about, he's been cooking up for a minute. And
got 25 ghostwriters in the studio right now.
I'll be honest with you, I think it's gonna be phenomenal. I like when Drake is in this mode rather than, Drake is just like constantly winning, and then we get something we're like, it's cool, but it's kind of like you're front running a bit. I like when Drake got his back to the wall, pause. So I think it's gonna be phenomenal.
Don't try to pause it now, nigga. You done said it like 5 times already.
And also think about this too, like, right? He dropped an R&B album. He had 1 or 2 songs that he had a little bit of rapping on. By the way, the R&B album, I think people could, if they want to be reasonable, admit it's one of the most impactful albums this year, right? And it was an R&B album.
Absolutely.
It was a joint album. So now when we think about his solo album, we're going to see, again, somebody who is understanding that if we're talking in boxing terminology, they're going into this round saying, we can't go to the cards. I got to give a knockout. If we go to the cards, they might say I lost. So I got to give a knockout. So this is somebody he's coming out from the corner swinging. So I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be really rapping. Like, I think he's gonna be on this hip hop shit. We got a little taste of it on that R&B album. He was like the gritty rap cuts, and then with these little side cuts he been dropping. To segue lastly, kind of to stay on top, because these my top 2, bro. It's crazy that was beefing. But what you thinking about Kendrick's success and how?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to hear about Diddy. No Diddy.
Successful hip hop. I could be bigger than thing where hasn't made 1 move.
Up and comes. and it did numbers.
And I think the album was good. I don't think it's a classic.
Okay,
well, watch this.
Yo, most of them stand the test of time. So when y'all saying about yo,
always mattered. I'm a fan of both of those dudes. Those are
okay.
living.
I mean,
it ain't been
Drake's gonna
This is not one of the albums.
he won overall. You know what I'm saying? But
classic one is gonna be.
I didn't hear that answer. I'm sorry.
I ain't gonna.
Interviewing Act at this time, so go right ahead.
oh no, my last shit though, because I want to know your top 5 act on the East Coast specifically, because that shit you said. Look, Ab-Soul my favorite rapper, bro. Like I'm gonna just make this clear, so I'm not fucking with it. So I want to know who is your top 5 lyrically on the East Coast active right now. Cause you was talking like really.
I'm tired of that Drake and Kendrick debate, bro. Let them niggas go and enjoy their money, man. At this point,
Like some high powered shit about like lyricists on the East Coast. So I'm trying to hear that.
See, that's a difficult question to kind of. The only reason I'm gonna say it's difficult because it's what you consider active. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
A year in the last album, a year,
coastal battle,
an album in the last year.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think again, for me to give a top 5, I probably whatever top 5 is off the top of my head, it's probably gonna end up being trash because I'm probably gonna leave people out. But I just generally believe that I don't think really if we took, and I would have to take a second to think about it. The top 10 niggas that could rap on the West versus the top 10 niggas could rap on the East, I don't think it's close. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
right, they gonna catch you.
Nah,
maybe 20 years ago, bro, unbiasedly. But to be honest, lately, because when you said that, and I'm like I say, bro, you gotta remember, I'm from Houston. Like, I gotta say it would be the West Coast, bro.
Okay,
like honestly, with them TDE guys, you got to think about it, bro. That's a big thing. If we just go 5, I don't even think you know what I'm saying? We don't even got to really leave TDE. So it'll be tough, bro.
Also, if we're talking about, and also we're talking about just New York, or are we talking about?
I'm taking the East Coast, and look, I even threw in J. Cole for y'all, even though he really South. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in J. Cole to you.
So we throw in the Dreamville niggas. I really think, but again, here's the thing: there's not many. Okay, I'll give you this. When it comes to rappers who are, probably still like they're still on the grind now. I think the reason why I probably say there's way more talent on the East Coast, I'm gonna go with veterans. I'm gonna go with veterans who are still around, right? And that's what I'm gonna use to try to win that argument. Now, if you're saying, yo, there's some up and coming niggas and also some niggas who are like maybe
that's a fact. His top 5 is Drake. No cap. He just glazed Drake.
They haven't been the biggest rappers, but these guys have been known for bars, and they're still putting out shit regular. If you're saying there's probably more people on the West Coast right now that seems to be focused on lyricism, I could see that. I just look at it. I'm thinking of this shit like some Avengers movie. I'm like, everybody's in the mix. I'm like, nigga, we really got some of the like. I'm like, right now, like me and him don't see eye to eye, but like, man, Meek Mill trying to rap his way out of a corner right now. He rapping like a motherfucker right now. I like
fact you had to use Meek is crazy.
Some of the older rappers,
my nigga had to use Meek. Boy, that's crazy.
But here's the thing though. He's been one of the guys who has always been. But again, that's what I'm saying. I got to use veterans. I do have to use veterans, right? I got to shit right now. I've never appreciated even Jim Jones' lyricism till more than now. When it comes to the younger rappers,
bro, you did not say Jim Jones, bro.
Jim ain't no. Come on, bro. That nigga,
you trolling now, nigga.
You rapping like a dinosaur, bro. Come on,
trolling, bro. You trolling.
Nah,
before you say Cameron,
no credits.
One Jim Jones bar, and I said,
I'm gonna be real, hey, bro. I'm gonna be real.
Why can't
Jim Jones was never
that nigga showed up to some party?
No, look, Jim Jones never got credit from me as a lyricist. He got credit for me as a nigga that can make a song every now and then.
I mean, that's why I used to give him credit for, but he been rapping too, though, man.
No.
Man, that shit just was like slow motion dinosaur shit. Like,
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I would have
Yo,
said Cameron over that nigga.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Cam hasn't been
He
active
been
like
rapping
that,
on
though.
that little show.
I mean,
Shit, he been rapping more than Jim
They
Jones.
fucking with Jim Jones on the East Coast right now, though.
Hey,
They is not fucking with no Jim Jones or no. Get the fuck, nigga. Wait, nigga, that nigga sold fucking 300 fucking. What is it? 300? Come on, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
300, 400 units.
But look,
yeah. What do you mean? Where they fucking with him at, bro?
But look, Wack, that selling don't mean he not getting no love in the city, though.
300 units, bro.
But Kanye just sold 5.9K and he getting love still.
Who?
I mean,
Kanye. Kanye just sold 5.9K and he's still getting love.
I don't even know Kanye dropped the album. Jim Jones did 300 motherfucking what you call it, bro. And you can't compare Kanye to a Jim Jones. Like, let's not do that.
No, we're not comparing the two. But what I'm saying in this area, in the East Coast region, the tri-state area, niggas be bumping Jim Jones, bro.
Bro, you gotta go Google Vultures 1 with top.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Niggas is not saying turn on that Jim Jones, bro. Now, if this shit come on the radio, all right, cool. That's Jim Jones, all right, but niggas is not requesting Jim Jones in the round, man. No.
Dallas Fine and Kanye. That was the #1 album in the world for a couple
around
months.
bumping on Jim Jones in New York.
I don't think so, bro. Well, I don't hear niggas. I hear niggas bumping Pop Smoke, nigga. Fucking, not no fucking Jim Jones, bro.
Ain't
Or
nobody
even
bumping no
nephew,
Jim Jones.
nephew that's in jail. I hear Jadakiss. I hear what's nephew that's in jail.
Bobby on four.
I hear Bobby on four. Yeah, I don't.
You hear some Dave East before.
man, y'all really don't fuck with Jim, huh?
Ain't nobody playing no Jim Jones in anywhere.
Dave East.
Nah, I think Dave East missed this time slot.
He's still popping though. He's still
popping where?
Nah, yeah.
What's his new
Popping where,
song?
nigga?
What's
I
his
think he
new
got a
song?
niche audience.
What's Davies'
Where
new
you popping
song?
at?
His last little album was straight. Hey,
What's it
I don't
called?
know the numbers, but it was pretty.
Club music.
Wait. Let me ask y'all a question though.
The Final Call.
Do y'all
album.
really? What's y'all thoughts on the Joey Badass, pretty much versus the West like situation? Because I really think that I think he giving everybody over their belt, and I hate to say it because I'm gonna come across biased saying it, but I really think that, you know, if it was ever like you know, and we're just talking about a lyrical war, where like
Nobody's paying him any attention, Act. You know that.
But nobody's paying any of the guys that responded.
Ricky Williams says, what I don't get is how you get a conspiracy charge and you're the only one charged. Conspiracy means I conspired with others to commit this crime. This shit crazy. Yeah, that's a fact. You don't think that they're gonna bring co-conspirators to the stand eventually? Or that part, if that was the case, he talking about Diddy. Or you think if that was the case, it would have already been presented throughout the trial? I don't know, man. I've been saying that too. Like, how, like, when we gonna get to that part? I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. You like my nigga.
As he's a co-conspirator.
Like I told you, he made it to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we can't hear it no more. Nobody, bro. Trust me. If he would have did,
yeah, Cassie definitely had to get immunity because she was paying the prostitutes.
Some shit that warranted attention, the wolves would have came out.
Well, really, you know, I consider the West the 2007 Cavs. They got Kendrick is LeBron James, and then the rest of these niggas is like Eric Snow, Boobie Gibson. Like, come on.
Let's see if they ever get back on the Diddy topic.
If we go rapper for rapper, the collective support.
It seems like y'all want to talk about that
West
Diddy.
Coast helped elevate Kendrick in that battle. It's the reason why he that mark and missing the time. I think Kodak, there's something called sophomore slump. Just reasons to be there,
Yes,
because
sir.
the
assistance was
West,
coke. What?
I always I don't really go there and really,
Yeah,
it's always like
it's
super
looking like
business.
Uncle Trump might have
When
to
I go there,
pardon Diddy.
it's always like I go to Miami and I have fun. When I go to West Coast, I gotta have like 8 things on the itinerary. Like, let's get
Diddy.
these things done, all music shit, all interviews or whatever the case is, and then I'm good. But I haven't had that much reason to go there, But the next time I have a reason to go, I'm definitely there. Actually, I was gonna go to what do you call it? I was gonna go to shit. I was trying to go to
all the people like who? Gene Deal and them niggas.
I was trying to go to Kendrick's tour. I wanted to see how that shit, just
you ain't going to no Kendrick tour, nigga. You
contrary
capping.
to popular belief.
Y'all hear this?
I like showing up. I remember going to a Russ concert at Madison Square Garden because I remember I used to post Russ and he used to get clowned, and I used to be like, "Yo, who really likes this nigga?" Because he ain't no way he got fans. Like they clown him every day on my page. I had to go to one of his concerts to see it in person. Because
sometimes about the little Russell dude.
No, Russ.
Oh, Russ, the singer dude. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, shit, I really want to. I want to see, like, number one, I want to go see how. I want to see how Dot's concert is really going up, especially in places that he's really loved at. So I wanted to do that, but I don't know. Other than that, shit, I guess probably the next time.
I think all them pardons niggas is paying up. I don't think Trump just pardoning people.
That I need to come to West 4, but when I do, I'm gonna try.
Sure, Diddy got a weekend or at least a couple days. Another 10-20 million he could get Uncle Trump, man. He coming home.
I heard you were scared to come to the West Coast, so I have to ask that question. But love it.
Well, no. Listen, I said it. I was scared. I was more scared to go to No Jumper than to come to the West Coast.
Why are you scared to go to No Jumper? You gotta go No Jumper with the blick, nigga. Man.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Listen, put like this. I was in the West Coast. I hired extra security for No Jumper. I'm like,
smart
come
man.
on, No Jumper is like
smart man. That's a smart man.
Come on now.
Don't trust him, Mac.
But generally on the West Coast, here's the thing too, though. I don't know what fun is on the West, because I've always said this too, right? I said,
yeah, that's a fact. You didn't get to use that 50 million for bail.
Houston or Miami or whatever. It's like the club scene is like crazy. They party all night. Like I've never really went to LA and then really hit the clubs. I'm gonna be honest with you. So like I don't even. When I go to LA,
don't do no shit like that, Akademiks.
I don't even try to stay there long. I've stayed in Miami a few days just to be like, oh, I'm about to go to these places and have fun.
Smart.
When I go to LA, I'm like, I don't even know how the hell to have. Like, I don't even know what y'all do out there as fun, like on a nightlife or whatever type of tip. Because I don't know.
They got the club scene be popping too out
Same
here.
thing y'all do everywhere.
Same thing you do anywhere. Man, just hit anytime you come to the West Coast. They close at 2 a.m. Then you got the after hours.
Mm-hmm. Depending on what
you gotta know, you gotta know everybody.
No goddamn after hours in
bowling alleys, where all the celebrities go and chill and hang out. They go late night bowling and shit. It's a lot of shit to do.
The thing about Cali though, like when we pop out and do this, some shit just be discreet, and you just gotta know if you're not.
Kodak and Wayne paid a M. That's what the pardon cost, $1 million. Hell no. Way more niggas just come out.
Just tap in with Wack, man. I'll take care of you whenever you come out here, man. Salute.
Bro, them niggas probably still making payments.
When he come out here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you, beloved. All right, I got you. No doubt.
Why they try to act like sometimes like? I guess it's probably just keep that.
Yeah, I think they paid $1 million to get pardoned.
Man, he
not
A1
real
on the West. He A1 anywhere he go on the globe, bro.
Yeah, Trump won tens of millions, buddy.
Anywhere and everywhere. If he got to be there, he gonna go. You don't give a fuck what a nigga.
Or if you got influence and you could use your influence to.
Yo, since you always giving up all this Kendrick slander, right? What's your top 5 in hip hop?
So you're not talking about current, we're talking about
overall.
overall.
Same question, bro. God damn.
I keep it a little bit new. I mean,
I just want to argue.
I just wanted to see where you at.
Top 5.
Ooh, okay.
I could say a new top 5 every day. It's like
or MCs.
500.
Because I've said Kendrick is in my top 5 MCs.
Overall.
Okay, overall.
Come on, bro.
I'm going.
I'll go with
Bro,
Drake.
that 1 million
Jay-Z.
charity was probably the down payment.
I'm going Nas. I'm gonna go Wayne. And
no, it could be credible, but I'm
be a little
thinking it's way more
controversial. Well, not
after that
controversial,
came
but
too.
I probably would go. I go T.I. That might be like a wild card for y'all.
They got T.I. in
That's
the
a
top
good pick,
5.
bro. You really hate Kendrick. Why?
Nah,
I just want to know why. Because he should have been on that top 5 list, bro.
Hey, Act, don't let them bash you. I'm from the West, and Kendrick not in my top 30, beloved. Salute.
Top 30 is crazy.
Hey, let me say this. Let me say this. You know what Kendrick has turned out to represent for me? And I hope people understand this. Because I do like Kendrick, and I actually do respect his talent. But Kendrick has turned to be, you ever seen one of your homeboys who love LeBron too much that you have to always tell this nigga LeBron ain't like
Yes,
LeBron
we got
is
somebody
like
on the stage like that, bro. Yes.
But the dick riding be too much. You're like,
yes.
Bro, could you? The thing with Kendrick is that I think he is great. I think he is one of the best, and he's a generational talent. But anytime you talk about Kendrick around somebody who loves Kendrick, they talk about him like he's Jesus. And that's why when I'm always the person that gotta now
that got money.
Try to humble that person so it looks like I'm only criticizing him. You get what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily that I don't like him, it's that when people like Kendrick, it's like a cult. It's like they talk about that nigga like he's like God. So
It's no difference in the way people be talking about Jay-Z and stuff. Hold on now, not too much.
You know, Drake fans.
No, same with Jay too. No, I don't like. There's some Jay-Z defenders. I don't like them niggas neither. Like I usually have criticisms of Jay too. Yeah, I don't like.
It ain't no different than how you talk about Drake.
But
there.
I think. Hold on, I could apply criticism to Drake. Like I could apply credit. I've never heard a nigga that like Kendrick critique Kendrick. Like I'll give you some criticism of Drake. Yeah, I don't think he won the battle with Pusha T. I don't think that I don't think.
Yeah, Kendrick.
I think views could have been stronger, even though I still love that project. I've been disappointed with him and also proud of him. Like these are things. Like I think. Even if, I still think he's the best, but like I've had criticisms of his entire career.
Sorry, I'm not riding around bumping Drake.
Anybody who I know that like Kendrick, they talk about him like he's God.
But it ain't time to critique Kendrick right now. All he's doing is winning right now. What are we going to critique right now?
Hey, but that's how y'all talk about Drake too, though, beloved.
Again, I appreciate y'all for coming through. We on the 100 side, y'all, with Wack100. We are interviewing DJ Akademiks. What's good, y'all?
If y'all in this motherfucker, say 100.
Holy!
100 of the top, because he was always, he was top 3 forever. Now he's saying he number 1. We got yet to just see what it's gonna be like, bro. And he coming with a style like he not doing the
Drake got hits,
shit,
bro, but I'm
and
not
I fuck
lying
with
around
Drake.
listening
I'm just
to
talking
Drake
shit.
all day.
But he not doing the shit. He doing it different, bro. He coming with lyricism. He not going with the grain. He going against the grain.
I think you tried to compare it to Steph Curry. The thing is, the difference is with the Steph Curry, there was a lot of people trying to replicate it because he's shooting threes.
Yeah, like when
you look at K-Dot,
for like certain moves,
the reason why you don't see no imitators is can't nobody rap like that.
Bro, trying to come home is not blowing money.
You don't see a lot of LeBron
the
imitators.
Nigga spent his last to come
you don't
home.
see a lot of dudes 6'9", 260 that can move like that. You don't see a lot of K-Dots. Who can rap like K-Dot?
And by
That's
the way,
a fact. That nigga
well,
Kendrick
and
voice
by the way,
get annoying sometimes though, bro. Like he be saying some shit that's like, okay, yeah, that was tough, but his voice and the way how he say it, it's like can't listen to that shit all the goddamn time, bro. Like we just listen to it to hear what he's saying, then we skip the song and go on to the next song.
This is why also profoundly when people talk about really impacting while even the conversation. Now, granted, I think this conversation is old as dirt. LeBron versus Michael. Michael's impact on the game is, you're right, there's only one gargoyle-looking nigga that's 6'9" that could do what LeBron does. But that's one of the reasons why his impact on the game and how the game is played isn't as profound as Michael Jordan's impact on the game and how.
Just a sidetrack real quick. What y'all think about today's game, man? Who y'all got, the Pacers or the Knicks? Drop y'all parlays in the chat.
Played.
Let's get rich.
Right? And that does matter. So again, I think some people think that I'm criticizing Kendrick as a player. I'm telling you, he's one of the best. Like, I'm not knocking him. I'm only saying, when we think about this run, when we're thinking about his legacy, and yes, I'm forecasting. So let's think about, okay, let's say he's the number one guy for 3-4 years. When we're forecasting his run in the game,
that parlay, man, stop tucking.
Are we gonna say it was impactful for anything beyond him just being a really good rapper? What is his impact going to be? I'm telling you that his run thus far is only showcasing that he's a phenomenal talent, but there is no trickle-down effect. We don't see sound changing, culture.
Princess Diana, I know your name is Princess Diana, but I'm not interviewing Act. They talking. I don't know.
Changing. We don't see the type of music changing. He's a one of one and good. Amazing, good for him. But usually when we see a guy who is the number one in the genre, we see significant changes because that's what the being number one holds. That's the power you hold. If you choose to bring it down south or you choose to rap like this, usually the sound of music that people want to get to or want to celebrate starts moving towards what the number one guy is doing. I'm telling you that I'm trying to see the impact of Kendrick beyond just his personal success. And I'm asking if anyone, because you pointed out. Now, if you want to say, let's wait and see, cool. But I don't see it yet. And
So,
by the way,
but Styles, like,
Kendrick has runs. I think Kendrick has moments, right? Or like, but even if you want to argue that he gets that year, okay, cool. He gets fair line.
With the GU nut move.
Yeah, he fucked them niggas
Stop snitching, stop lying.
Not only that, he started destroying all the little ones on the side. The brawl fucked over her.
So I'm 2005. I'm giving a 50 because he dropped Massacre. 2006. Billboard entries. Youngboy is the artist with the least amount of Billboard entries, but the most amount Billboard entries compared to the amount of.
Like they just
but when you drop You Danza and Charleston White, and I'm like, oh man, if I would have been in this shit, man, we would have had 10 million views, man.
Dude fucked the shit up anyway.
I'm like, yo, it would have been the best content niggas have ever seen.
Yeah, Akademiks would have been instigating like a motherfucker. It should have been Akademiks, Charleston White, Wack100, and if y'all really wanted to go viral, throw a little 6ix9ine in there too.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but okay, but watch this. When you went down,
fix your connection, old man.
If you in the Matrix, you gotta say that again. It's driving.
That's a good question. One of them, I'm actually about arm's length in about to do it, and actually, I mean, if you want to tell you, I could tell you. Wack actually setting it up. Wack setting it up right now. He actually called me with it, and I was like, "Nigga, what? Of course."
I think I know who it is. I pay attention.
But yeah, no, definitely. That I won't say who it is. If Wack tell you,
I'm following you. I got you.
But other than that, let me see. Man, the Ye thing was so surreal last year. Let me see this year. Oh man! And by the way, Wack was setting up another one too that I kind of fucked up. I was supposed to interview Snoop.
I wanted to interview Snoop. Damn, fuck.
How you messed it up?
Well, supposedly I didn't follow up because he was out here in New York doing a press. I didn't mess it up.
You fucked up.
I ain't fuck it. I just didn't follow. I thought
you fucked.
Yeah, I should have got that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I do think there's a possibility, and I don't like to put expectations in here, but you never know. You might fuck around, and at some point this year, see, I might fuck around and see a Drake interview this year, man. You never know.
Yo, did nobody gives a fuck about you interviewing Drake. You and Snoop would have been a better interview than you and Drake.
When I interview Drake,
you know why? We expect you to interview Drake. We expect you to do that.
But I'm gonna get to the shit. I'm gonna get to the real answers y'all need. Y'all gonna hear from the horse's mouth.
No, we ain't. Them niggas gonna restrict you on all kind of shit. You know it.
Who knows?
You know that.
Wack, you gotta line up the Kendrick interview, man. I'm gonna give him the real interview because he be doing he did the what's called Harper's whatever thing. I'm gonna give him the real interview, man.
Yo, did 6ix9ine show up when you went out there?
No.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like he been performing a lot, gotta.
He spent you.
Got a few things going on, but he kind of all over the place. Hey, did you see that body cam footage?
You trying to kidnap that little nigga?
There's a body cam footage. I covered it. It's 6ix9ine getting pulled over by some dudes that are fake cops.
I seen that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of let me tell you this. I know a lot of people have whatever thoughts. It's very obvious that he's there. And I always thought that, he should move a little bit low key, because there's always threats. And even when you don't see, you never know what will happen. But, when I watched that video, I'm like, man, there's always some shit going on with him, and you don't even really know where it's coming from. Because I think him moving out of New York, maybe them Treyway niggas not there, but there's a lot of people, a lot of people don't like him, but that's even me too, though. You always got to kind of be a little bit cautious. But, when I seen that shit with him, I was like, that's kind of crazy. And he's like, you know how people say, I'm not outside? He make it a point to be outside. He sent me the video. He's like, yo, he's like, you think you can post it? I said, I look at it. He's like, yo, how I just want to show you is him and Bobby Shmurda in the same club side by side. He wants to be there just to let niggas know, yo, I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not scared nobody's going to do nothing to me, and I'm going to be wherever I'm going to be all the time. And I think that's kind of I don't think people give a fuck like that anymore. I really think that Stitch and shit is, at least culturally,
like culturally, musically. Like maybe I don't know how it is on the West Coast if people like cooperate, if it's like a death sentence, but he chilling, man. He chilling. I think it's kind of. If I was him, I would have like just use that money and be in the Midwest somewhere in Ohio.
Hey, Ak, this is Sonny B. Pretty. I had a question for you. I wanted to know what was the most monumental event that's happened in the last 5 years in the culture that you think that has changed the culture?
Could you say that again? The most what?
Like the most monumental, like what big events has happened in the culture in the last 5 years that you think has a huge impact on it, that has changed it?
Musically, I would definitely, if it was musically, I would say the battle. But
Yes.
but beyond musically, and if I had to just go, culturally,
do you think anything that has happened in the music industry in the last 5 years culturally that will change the culture, the music culture?
Nothing really comes to mind right now. I'm pretty sure if I thought about it a little bit longer, I probably could. Usually it would be something that like just kind of jumps off the page. I will say, like, if I had to think about a year that I felt like music started to change, I definitely believe between 2018 and 2020, there was starting to be a change in music, and I do think, the deaths of certain there was a bunch of deaths from 2018. Shit, I'm talking about from XXXTentacion all the way to Juice WRLD, even King Von. I think those changed because we missed so many of those prolific people in music. I do think what ended up happening was, you know, the way how music shifted was very different. So I think some rappers passing away and like, you know, and when did Nipsey die? Nipsey died around 2018 as well, right?
I think 2019.
2019. So I do think I think where music was going was like, if we really think about like even 2017, even early 2018, there was this real, it was this complex but very diverse hip hop space where we saw gangster music, conscious music. There was this young, vibrant music from, like, there was so many different spaces that we were seeing everybody in. And then that started to change because we lost a bunch of people that was influential like that. And I started to think, I think music kind of changed. It changed a lot. Changed a lot. So if you ask me, I would probably just say, you know, some of the deaths of the, you know, a lot of deaths of rappers from like 2018 to 2020.
So what you think about Draco the Ruler?
Shit, I
think rapper death. Do you think he would have had a successful career if he wouldn't have died so soon?
No, absolutely, absolutely. Now he's one of those as well where, you know, I think his passing, it just kills a trajectory that could have been something else. It's like it's the same, you know, it's the same thing with like Pop Smoke for like New York. Like I think New York was starting to have this renaissance again, be like, and people could look like, oh, that dude, he could be one of those. And then, you know, the untimely passing kind of like fucks up a lot of stuff. So, you know, shit, I've always kind of been confused about the Drake or the Ruler thing, where it's like, how the hell did this happen at a festival? And like, that's one of the only things I feel like is still unsolved. Like, there's no answer to this, right? Like, I feel like these days, rappers' deaths go solved. Like, we figure it out. But that particular situation, I've never heard nothing else happen. I know.
That shit was deep, man. I was his first bodyguard since he first came out of jail up until like probably like 2-3 months to his death.
Yeah, no, super unfortunate. And, you know, I think also the culture didn't, like, even bigger than where, you know, from the West, I don't think the rest of like hip hop even got a chance to like fully like understand and like appreciate his impact before he really passed. So, I think that's a problem. A lot of artists who like passed away probably just right before they were on that cusp of like making that turn. You think about what music could have been or just what the impact would have been,
No, that's real. What you think about XX? What's his name? Extortion.
Yeah, he was my friend. He was my friend, man. That was that's to me, that's still the hardest day in hip hop for me. I cried the entire day.
And you was close with him?
Yeah. Me and we used to talk a lot, like pretty much every day. That day I cried a lot. And I was most mad because he had gotten mad at me for some shit, and I had gotten mad at him, and it was like one of those things where it's like, you're mad at somebody, but your ego won't let you just be like, man, we mad over some bullshit, and then he passed away, and yeah. So, but yeah.
So,
man, we send our condolences to you,
Yeah.
man, and prayers, my brother.
No, absolutely, I appreciate it.
Now, Ak, when it comes to branding business and your future, what do you think is your smart